Well, cool kids. Look what we've got here. Wow. You know, I remember my first Kickstarter. Yep. Reaper Bones 4. Yep. If you check my channel, you'll see a whole bunch of videos about Reaper Bones 4. That's the first Kickstarter I ever backed. And it was the first Kickstarter that ever arrived in my house. Yep. Well, Reaper's at it again. They have saw fit to come forth with another lovely offering. Normally, I get a email, but I didn't this year. The only reason I know that this Kickstarter was a thing is because my coworker, who I got hooked on minis and turned him on to the whole Reaper thing, he told me, he said, "Hey, did you see it? Did you see it, Josh? Did you see the new Reaper Bones 6? I said, "Well, no, I didn't." And he said, "Well, why not? Everybody knows about it." I said, "Well, I don't know. I didn't get no email. I always get an alert. As a matter of fact, usually, since I'm subscribed to their YouTube channel, you'd think they'd be putting out videos. Well, come to find out, I haven't been receiving any notifications from them for some time. So I don't know if that's YouTube or them, or probably YouTube. YouTube tends to unsubscribe people without telling them. Anyway, but it doesn't matter. We didn't get any emails, and the reason we get any emails is unknown. But once I found out, I went in, and I was relieved to find out that there were no waves, because on Bones 5, I sat there clicking for hours trying to get in to, and I finally got in on wave 3. But I had to work that night, so I was sitting there clicking for 3 hours when I should have been asleep, because the Kickstarter, I started as soon as it kicked off. And it took 3 hours to get in, because the Kickstarter servers bogged down. Okay. Anyway, so getting rid of the waves was probably a good idea, because 3 hours of my life, very frustrating, and I didn't want to go to sleep and wake up. I mean, I'm not impatient, but I didn't want to be like wave 20 because I had to sleep. You know, I work nights. So. Anyway, what is, for those of you that don't know, what is Reaper? Well, Reaper is a company. Reaper Miniatures, they're right up here. Reaper Miniatures. Reaper is a company. They've been around since the 90s. They started out in metal, and they then branched into plastic. They called those Bones. And Bones, Reaper Bones are probably the most popular single miniature for role-playing games. Have been for years. Well, they did a Kickstarter years ago, Bones 1. I didn't get in on that. I didn't even know what Kickstarter was then. As a matter of fact, I didn't get into a Bones 4, but I did get the core sets for Bones 2, 3, and of course 4, 5, and 6. Well, I'm going to get 6, but that's, yeah. Spoiler warning. So what are we getting? What is it? Well, we could go back and look at all the Bones, but let's just say you get a very large selection of miniatures at a great price. The more people that get in on it, the better the pricing gets. So, yeah, you'll see, they've got videos here. So if you get on Kickstarter, you can really check this out. There's a map as stretch goals. So they have stretch goals. Stretch goals meaning you reach the dollar amount. So let's go back up and look at that. The dollar amount for the campaign is at 805,000. So let's really concentrate there. 805,000. There's 26 days left, so 805,000. The last Kickstarter got about 3.3 million, if I remember right. So That's cool, right? Well, at 3.3 million, the core set was so huge, you know, they had to stop putting stuff in it, basically. But you can get different pledges. I pledged at the $125 level. You can always add to that if you want to open up new unlocks. We'll see where that goes. I'm sure I'll be getting all the... I always get the expansions. There's some things I don't get. I don't like chibi minis, for example. I don't like cutesy wootsy stuff. I want stuff I can use on the game table. But I get it. I get why people get them, and I have no problem with people getting them, obviously. I mean, that's... You know, so these are the unlocked goals. They give it names: Nightmare, you know, Briarwood, and it all depends on what they're calling stuff in the set. That's Mr. Bones, trying to look all spiffy there. So here's the core set, guys. We're going to look at that real quick. It was $100. Now, from Bones 1 to Bones 4, this was $100. They raised it to $120 on Bones 5, and now we're at Bones 6, and we're that inflation. Thanks, Joe Biden. No, whatever. I don't blame Joe Biden exclusively. I mean, Donald Trump was checking off on those stimulus bills, too, so no. We can't just blame Biden. What Biden did was he increased regulations and stifled energy production. Now that... we can blame him for it, but it's the whole... No. You know, forget the political lens. Both parties are to blame. Anyway, moving right along. Dragoth. Now, I have a Bones 1 Dragoth. I mean, both minis have a similar theme. They're sitting on a throne. I don't recall the Dragoth in Bones 1 having the elaborate helmet here. But Borin has a kitty cat in his hand. It looks like a dwarf. Some say boring. So I saw some comments in the comment section, which we'll get to. Here's a party of adventurers. We got an elf mage, a dwarf cleric. So if you were just getting started out and you like gnomes, and who doesn't love gnomes? These would just be cute to paint regardless. Here's a shambling mound that we're, you know, of course, Reaper doesn't own licensing, so they have to call it something else. I'm guessing that's a werewolf. Female elf. Now, I don't know if they're doing these in Bones Black or Bones USA or Bone... They've got 3 different plastics they do. So, you never know which one they're doing, and I don't think they've confirmed it yet. Correct me in the comments if they have. But, the first 4 bones, the core boxes were in regular bones. The first 4 Kickstarters, the bones in Bones 4, though, was a little better. They added some color to so the white kind of obscures the details. And it also seemed a little harder. I will say, though, that the bones from Bones 1 through 3, they're pretty much indestructible. Whereas the Bones 4, I had some break on me. I had a griffin specifically break on me, which I'd never seen before. And all I did was drop it on the floor, on a carpeted floor, and it broke. And that really threw me for a loop because I'd never seen a bones piece break like that. Like, I think even a metal piece would have held up better. It just hit the perfectly wrong way, I guess. And the sculpt was really skinny right there where it broke. You know, if you guys have that many, you'll know exactly the griffin I'm talking about. But yeah, it broke. It hit a carpet floor and broke, and I had to glue it back together. Don't get me wrong, that's the other big advantage of plastic over metal is you can kind of glue everything back together even if it does break. So we got a little, I don't know what that is. Mercurix. Is that Pseudo-Dragon? It's a little big for a Pseudo-Dragon. Maybe it's a little wormling of some sort. Can't really see. It almost has a weasel's head. Interesting. Tell me in the comments if you know what that's about. I don't know what this Dual Wreck. Is he a dwarf? What do you think, guys? Is Dual Wreck a dwarf? I don't know. He's doing his war cry, his battle scream. There's a dwarf monk there. I think they had one of those in Bones 3, so we got a lot of dwarf monks now. Diva. Diva looks like a cleric. Domer. Now, a lot of these, what they do is they make metal. They take metal sculpts and they're putting them in the bones. Depending on if they're doing bones black or bones whatever. They got, like I said, they got 3 different plastics. This Bloodstone Golem, I actually have 3 of these in metal that I got for like $1 each. Gamecastle.com with a K. They were on 90% discount. So yeah, I actually have a video I did years ago called Heavy Metal. Look for it, Heavy Metal Minis or something, where I'm making a little pun about rock and roll music and Metal Reaper minis. It's pretty sweet. I actually show you all those I got from Game Castle. Great deals, man. Some of them as low as like 69 cents a model. Yeah, they were closing out. Anytime you get some metal minis, now I gotta tell you, most of my minis are plastic, but there's just something about a metal mini. The only big disadvantage of metal, 2 big disadvantages, and I've talked about this before. It chips easy if it falls. The other big disadvantage is the weight. But if you're doing PCs, like player characters, man, I like to do them in metal any chance I get, because it's a nice sturdy thing to put on the table. It really, it just feels like something. It has this gravitas to it. But anyway, we'll keep talking. I gotta let Finn out real quick. Yeah, I know you guys don't see Finn and Eva here, but they're here. They're always, when I'm home from work, they're my Heine kids. Yeah, they're always around me, which that's what pets are for. All right, let's move right along. I got lots of Finn and Eva videos. If you check my channel, a lot of people like those, so I make them. They don't mind being on camera. Eva really actually enjoys it. If this desk was bigger, she'd be all about it. She loves the camera. All right, Amisha looks like a tiefling dancer, and Jacob looks like a monk. Vodalus looks like some kind of wizard. Elven cat, kitty, some kind of large cat. Errolin looks like some kind of wizard, sorcerer, magic user. Let's just call them magic users. Ascendron Nightbloom, maybe a druid, maybe a wizard, hard to tell. Eli Quick Knight, looks like a rogue. Interesting. Skeletal Houndmaster. Now that's pretty cool. If you look at that, we've got a undead warrior with a hound, and if you're doing sentient undead versions of the skeletons, which it's my big problem with the skeletal archer being so common, because there's no way a regular skeleton could shoot arrows. They lack the mental capacity. Anyway, that's a different discussion. Now, this is where a lot of people in the comments are complaining. They don't like these zombies. I don't see it. I don't think you can have enough zombies. There's 4 different sculpts here, and you get 16 zombies. So, I mean, they could have done 8 sculpts and 2 of each. I think these are a rehash from Bones 5. But I don't see how you can complain about more zombies. You always need more zombies. I will say that. And you can paint these different colors, guys. You can make these look completely different. Little artistic license on your part, and you're set. I really like these knights. You know, they had these. If I remember right, it was in Bones 3, Bones 4. Well, actually, they had them all the way back in Bones 2 because I bought an expansion. Yeah. So the same exact design of the same artwork, they would all fit in together. They all match. And they could honestly be the same guy with different equipment. So if you say you wanted your PC to have various sets of equipment, they're really similar. And I think I saw some in the Dreadmere expansion. Yeah. I think there's one with a cock on his shield. A rooster, a cockerel. But it's all the guy looks very similar. There's a guy with, they have the crossbow, the sword with chainmail, several sculpts that all have this similar kind of muscular, kind of sawed off guy. So I really like that. That's cool. That's cool. That's a theme, you know. I like themes. I like when you can take the mini and put it with the other minis, or maybe use it for different poses of the same mini. It just really adds. Or they could all be from the same guard. They're all part of the same team, so you paint them up the same, you know. Say you're playing tabletop games. You know, a lot of people don't realize these can be used for tabletop games, like Frosthaven. You know, it's not just about the role play. There's a lot of people buying these models. These look like adventurers. I don't want to, you know, just be like, psh, but I think we all have the archer, elven archer. I think we all have the female fighter, I don't know if that's a monk or a mage. It could probably go either way. Amari there, but you know, I will say these two have more Nubian features. However, you could paint them up whatever color you wanted. But yeah, maybe that's what they were going for there. You know, skulls are shaped slightly differently depending on what part of the world you're from, or where your ancestors come from, not you, because like people transplant all the time now, so it's really kind of irrelevant. But I think that's what they're going for there, kind of a Nubian, sub-Saharan African kind of look. And that might be what the archer's doing. It's hard to see with the hood. Okay, so I kind of get that. I remember on the Facebook page there were some people complaining there weren't enough strong Nubian features, or whatever you want to call the features, in some of the models. So they're probably, you know, maybe they were thinking of that when they did this. It doesn't matter. I think they're cool. They fit in fine, and they make fine PCs either way. This looks like a half orc, maybe. Although I can't really see the ears, but you could paint it up as one, so it doesn't really matter. No, and then we got a ranger, clearly, with a gravestone. A ranger with a gravestone on her. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe that's something specific. And then, I mean, you can always cut that off if you don't like it, so it's not a big deal. And that's the other thing with these bones. You can't, listen guys, have you seen my conversion videos? Check them out. This stuff is perfect for conversions. Yeah. The Bones Black's a little tougher than the original Bones. I haven't messed with the Bones USA, so I should buy some Bones USA just to experiment with. So let me know in the comments if that sounds exciting for you. This really, in the comments, people are really excited about these. And, you know, they're not an easy model to get a hold of unless you go to those Walmart and you buy the really generic, cheap, kind of kids' toys. But as far as nice models, hard to come by with the bugs. And you know what? Every first level adventurer is out hunting rats or bugs. I'm telling you, it's like a trope. It's like, it's a must do, and it doesn't have to be low level. These things can scale. You can make a special variant that shoots instead of acid out of their stinger, they could shoot or instead of, like, you know, just forbic acid, it could be like instant death kill acid or massive damage acid or poison or fire. You know what I'm saying? You can up the ante. You can make the challenge rating go up. So these scale very well. There's always a place for this kind of mini. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a thing called a velvet ant. It's actually a flightless wasp. And man, they are evil. I've been stung by one. It'll put you on your butt. But you could paint that up like that. It's a beautiful, I don't know if you guys have seen them. Google it, velvet ant. Beautiful color. Like if you're looking for a color scheme. And then if you did her like a velvet ant and these like army ants, oh man, you'd have a beautiful display at the very least. Finn's ready to come in. I'll be right back. Are you ready, buddy? You ready to make a video? Let's make a video. Everybody loves a video. We really got to speed this up, don't we, guys? We can't sit here and talk about every mini, can we? So far, the core sets, let's round it out. We got Sophie. This is kind of their theme. Remember I said Mr. Bones? Well, that's their mascot. Well, so's Sophie. There's another guy named Sir Forescale that might pop up. He's Sir Garrick the Bold, if you want the mini. It's from Bones 1, and it is sold in retail. Oh, and that's the other thing. They're making these so that they can make them in retail blisters to go to your local game store. So this helps them pay for the molds, and you get a nice deal on minis, but you may not need them all. Here's some pirates. Love pirates, man. I got all the stuff from Bones 5, so yeah, that'll go great with it. I also have a bunch of rum and bones. I don't know why you couldn't fill these in. Like, I bought the card set for rum and bones that has every expansion. And it turns from the rum and bones first season. And I don't own all the minis, so I can use these as substitutes and actually put together those teams, So really cool, customizable. That's another thing. That's what I'm telling you. This isn't just for D&D or Call of Cthulhu. You can use these for board games. You can play chess with these things. You can make a chess set out of these things. The sky's the limit, guys. You don't limit yourself. Okay, they can be decorations, knickknacks, paddywhacks, mudmen. Now I remember these from back in my old days playing 2nd edition D&D. I missed out on 1st edition. I was old enough, but I didn't really get into D&D till I was a teenager. So, but these are really cool because it's like anywhere where a lot of magic is just, released, it'll create a dweoner a residual magical energy. And if it's near a place of mud, it can cause mudmen to appear. If I remember the lore right, that's how it works. And it's infinite. If I remember right, they just keep appearing. So it's a really cool way to crank up some experience points But the thing is, they don't have a lot of weaknesses, and there's no real. It's not like throwing a match down a sewer full of sewer gas and getting 1 million experience points. I remember people trying to exploit that. That was a big thing, I think, in 3rd edition. But of course, a sane DM's going to say, no. They jumped in the water or something, some kind of exploit or some kind of way to counter that exploit. Cackle Libra, 3 hags. You get 3 hags or witches. Ooh, nightmare, familiars. I didn't know red pandas were pets, but it's cool, man. It's cool. Red pandas, they're kind of like raccoons, in case you guys don't know what that is. They live in Asia. All right. Ooh, goat, weed, boon, and grotwash. Those are mongrelmen. Mongrelmen are really old school D&D too. I've seen 2 storylines for them. One is wizards splicing DNA, and another one is just interracial coupling. Over the years, as different, you mix so many races, you get random features from those races, and it's just humanoids breeding with each other. So you could play it off either way. They are a playable race in from 2nd edition to at least 3rd. I don't know about 4th or 5th, but in 2nd and 3rd edition, you could play these guys. And they're really cool NPCs because they're docile. They'll defend themselves, but they're not aggressive. They're usually kept as slaves, and they're always hoping for their masters to be destroyed, and always thinking that what will be. They're kind of fatists. But yeah, really sympathetic. They're not, they look grotesque, but they're actually quite cordial. And, anyway. ReaperCon 2011. Oh, these are the next. So this is the next one. That red lock means it's still locked. When we hit 870,000, we'll get two Sophie models that were probably in metal originally, and they're now going. So lots of Sophies. I was joking today in the comments about making a scenario in the game where just an encounter with all these different succubi, and a one-off, right? Sophie. I have several succubi models, and just really play it up, and then have them all wake up. It was a bad dream. Anyway, because it's succubi. Here's the first add-on. So add-ons, I gotta tell you real quick. An add-on, this is a $50 buy-in that you buy after the Kickstarter's over. Now you can put it in the pledge, right? You can put it in your pledge before the Kickstarter ends, which will open up more stuff that goes into that core set. That core set's ever expanding. But these are, separate boxes that come with the minis you see here, which, you got a fireplace, a dwarf with a barrel, and mugs, and, all these different bar tropes that everybody likes. Furniture, lots of furniture, beds, a mimic, a freaking mimic, a bar, so if you don't have a bar or you want an extra bar, this is the Green Griffin Inn expansion, and that's what you'll get. Now this part's still locked, but usually I've never seen otherwise. If something's shown, you're going to get it, and even if it's not completely, even if the pledge level doesn't hit it. Reapers, to my knowledge, Reapers never shown something and not given it to the fans, so I wouldn't even worry about that. This looks cool. This is, a lot of people were poo-pooing this in the comments. Oh, I got enough of it. Well, you know what? I keep saying it, and I mean it. You can never have enough different sculpts of the little undeads. I love this kind of stuff. Tombs and, different scenery. You can reuse this. This doesn't have to be a one-off. This could be every graveyard you go to could have a big tomb in the middle, and that could be it. It might get old, I don't know, or it might be off in the background in one. It's going to look a lot cooler than just not having it. I actually have a couple tombs, like this. So maybe that's why they're complaining, because there's a bunch of them out there. But I don't know how you can have too many skeleton sculpts. I don't get it. It's even, and again, these scale just like the bugs. Okay, you start out with the mindless skeletons. Well, what if we're fighting skeletal warriors? Skeletal warriors are basically PCs. They scale. You can have a skeletal warrior or whites. They could be whites. Whites scale. Whites can have character levels. So, these miniatures are never obsolete. They're never useless. Depending on how you paint them up, you could have them painted up as any number of things. There's fire skeleton. There's so much. It's so broad. I don't even want to get into it. Bone piles, little accoutrements to place upon your, terrain. Always welcome. Not sure if that couldn't have been a separate thing, but you know what? It's all good. Here's a necromancer that looks kind of interesting. You see that? Like there's this necromantic energy just swirling, like shadow energy. A lot of people don't don't associate necromancy with the shadow, but it is. It's negative material plane, you know. Very dark magic. So yeah, that could be painted up pretty cool if you look at it. Like there's a lot of potential for artistic license. Race. You have a look. They're pretty cool. You know, I got a set of these, not the exact same ones, but Ghost, Specters, Race. These are your non-corporal undead. You can never have too many of these either. You can change up the sculpts, and these are always, especially if you're playing older editions of D&D, these foes are freaking scary. These guys can suck levels off you. These guys can suck even more levels off you, and these guys can aid you. They've toned them down now. They're mostly just annoying now. But of course, in second edition, you had Restoration. I'm sure they still have that spell. I'm sure it's not nearly as valuable. But back then, having a Restoration spell was pretty special. Okay, and again, don't worry about this. The odds of this not completing is very low. We have some vampires. I'll let you guys check it out on the webpage. Now, this is... Wow, this is the one right here. Giant skeleton. How many times have you had, as a player character, you're playing a necromancer, and you can't find a freaking skeleton for the really cool thing you just raised dead on? There you go. Okay? Anytime you get an undead of something that you don't see every day, you want it. And it's a really cool sculpt. Pretty sweet. Here's some undead looking ogres. I'm going to call them ogres. You know, they had the, what was it, Rotten Crown ogres or something like that from Bones 4 that were kind of filled this niche. And they could be humans, big humans, orcs. But to me, they look kind of like ogres. You know, again, you can use them however you want. Definitely some cool... Oh, Death Knights. They could be Death Knights. I don't know why on earth you would ever fight 4 Death Knights, but man, you certainly wouldn't want to fight them all at once. But I could see an adventure where 4 Death Knights have gotten together to take down an entire nation, maybe, and you have to go to their individual strongholds and maybe try to do something and steal their artifact that's making them whatever. You know, lots of options there. Lots of options. So, red cap. So this is all your Fey folk. You got your red caps. You got your sylphs. Now the sylphs don't have wings, so I'm going to say those are Eladrin, not sylphs. But they're calling them sylphs, and that's fine. You know, there's licensing. Is it Eladrin or Eladrin? Whatever it is, those funky elves. But you know, the clue is spring, summer, autumn, winter. There's different courts of the Feywild. Will-o'-the-wisp. Those are great. You could paint those up as swamp gas. I mean, they could also be used as oozes, jellies, whatever tickles your fancy. We got here kelpies. I mean, if you're doing under the sea stuff. And these, I don't know, sea elves. They don't, which, you know, that's what I'm saying. There's utility there. It's something aquatic, but it would go well with the sets from Bones 5. There's a whole under the sea thing. These are cool. The little bee folk. There is a race like this. It starts with an X. Anyway, so there is a D&D race that this could actually use, and potentially, if you found the stat, you could use it as a PC. Yeah. But here's a murder hornet. So, you know, some kind of monstrous Hymenoptera. I'll let all you bug experts get on that. And then, you know, the Fungal King is cool. There's a Fungal Queen from Bones 4. But now there's a Fungal Queen from Bones 6. I don't know what that's about, but that's okay. You can have 2 queens. Maybe they fight it out. I don't know. The sculpts are fine, so I got no problem with it. I didn't know we needed 2 fungal queens. Now these could be your myconids right here. The big ones, you know, they get bigger as they get older. Korrid, that's a really old creature. That's, you know, from real mythology, folk tales. So I think they usually use whips, if I remember right, but I mean, it's cool. You can tell it's a Korin. This, I don't know, the Arboreal Defender. It's like a baby treant. You know, you can always use a treant or a blight. You could use it as a blight, something like that. I don't know. These are really where the set shine. These are your actual, these could be your real Sylphs. You can play Sylphs as a 5e character. And the trick with them is if their wings get ripped off, they die. That's the trade-off for being able to fly. So it's instant death. I think, you know, these characters can be really fun to play. If you do it right, if you actually, you know, if you're a min-maxer trying to take advantage of the flight and some of the abilities, you know, that's one thing. But if you're actually role-playing it right, they can be really cool. They can be really cool. They are exploitable, though, especially in older editions. Having flight is just a big advantage. And not so much now, but still, I mean, it can be. It's situational. Here's some fairy dragons. And you know, you can never have enough fairy dragons. Here's a big, giant fairy dragon. I don't know what that's about, but it's cool. It could be, you know, this could be a Fae Lord. You know, Fae aren't always just standard. There's always special Fae. The Fae nobility. They're kind of like they're gods. They don't, you know, it's not exactly that, but it's very similar. And this is a alicorn. So it's like a unicorn with fairy wings. So that's interesting. That's unique. I like it. I like it, and you could definitely make a story about that. You know, in Greek mythology, a flying horse was not a common thing. It was a specific thing, right? And you know, it was special, unique. So unique is good. You can work in the story. Lots of. So here's some things they're talking about. Lost Tombs of Hakkar. And it looks Egyptian, whatever it is. There's Denizens of the Dungeon expansion. Looks kind of demonic. Oh, paint set. They sell paint sets. Oh, here's an add-on. These are separate add-ons. This is Knowles. I mean, like I said, if you want to check these out, we got to go faster. Check them out. Men at Arms. So this has various sprues with various pieces. Like if you bought a kit. Very Frostgrave or wherever that game is. It's like that. Or, you know, World, or what am I thinking of? Anyway, it doesn't matter. You get it. It's got various things you can put on it, and you can customize your character, okay? Great for a PC, by the way. Not sure I like the price. Gonna say that. I don't know if that's a real value there, but it could be if you know, if you say you needed some extra bits. So I won't poo-poo it. Not a chibi guy, but if you are, look at these chibis. Pathfinder chibis. Here's some orcs. 6 models for $14. But I mean, I like this guy. I like this guy. I like this one too. I like these two. I could live without these, but these two sculpts are really good. You can do a lot. I mean, I'm thinking of painting it. I think there's a lot of potential there. And these are fine. They're not great, but I like these two sculpts. That's just me, though. You might love them all. I don't know. $14 for 6 minis isn't a steal, but it's not horrible either. Chibi. Goblins. Well, again, if you like chibi and you like goblins, that's it. And then they got those Pathfinder goblins. We like those. I think they're cool to paint. Guys, that's what we got so far. This one's been slower than other ones. But that could be just because of that email thing I was telling you about. So I would say for $125, you're doing okay already. That's quite a few minis for $125. By the time this thing's over, it's going to be a steal. It always is. Just count on it. Guys, get in there. Put in your core set bid. And if you want to do add-ons, it's better to do it before the Kickstarter ends. But I don't know your financial situation, okay? You might not be in that position. So if that's the case, that's okay. You can always buy it when they end it. The pledge manager comes out. They always let you buy the stuff. And to my knowledge, you can always buy any of the sets or add-ons, even including extra core sets. So you can actually, if you think that's a good deal and you have a real use for a bunch of those, now there's a limit, I believe, of 10 of any given thing. So you only get 10 core sets, 10, right? So there are limits. But aside from that, you are able to get all this stuff even after the Kickstarter ends. But if you have the money handy and you've been saving, like some of us, I didn't know when this was going to drop, but I knew it was going to drop. Then you can go ahead and bid for everything you want and then add on afterwards. I ended up with 3 pirate ships last Kickstarter. Anyway, you guys watch those videos, Bones 5. And thanks for watching this one. Take care, like, share, subscribe, and have an amazing day.